must be an angel watching over me.
Here we are with a new guest on the show, someone I know from 14th Street, and Emily knows as well. It's David. Now say your last name because I could...
ReGaNo?
ReGaNo, that's what I was going to say. ReGaNo. So, parla italiano?
Un poco.
Va bene? Ciao?
Ciao, yeah, ciao.
Spaghetti.
Arrivederci. Spaghetti. Pizza pie.
Yeah.
I'm boning up on some of my Italian.
Gelati.
Gelati. Chocolate, vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, vino.
Always. Anytime.
See. Arrivederci.
Hopefully not too often.
Okay, all right. So what brings you? You're like a man of multiple talents, I hear.
But apparently today not the computers. I should have had the Reverend come and help me with my computers today because everything technological that could go wrong today went wrong.
Well, just blame it on the eclipse.
Yes, that's...
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Was it eclipse and full moon?
Work
Yeah,
around.
exactly.
Second computer.
Yeah.
Get them used that you can trust, you really can do it, and a second internet service if you're dependent on uploading stuff, because the stuff is just going to, it's an evil dragon,
Free advice.
even dragon that's going to fly you through the world, warm you, give you all kinds of magic, but it will burn your ass, especially when you need it.
Yeah, isn't that how everything is?
But that's
So do we do that with relationships? You have one and then you have the other. Wow, I like the way you think, Reverend. Now it's all making sense. There you go. That's how we do it. Always have backup.
Old song says, when I am not near the girl I love the girl I'm near.
Oh, isn't that like Love the One You're With?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You know, that song, I love the song, but it's not always... I don't know, maybe for a guy. I think I need chemistry. I just can't be like that. I was just hearing it somewhere else the other Sun show today, like how, can you just love the one you're near?
No.
Can you?
You know, it's funny you should say that.
I want to know, why is that funny I should say that?
First off, you can look this up on Google. Let me Google that for you. A gentleman did a study in which two people stared at each other for 10 minutes, like sat across from each other without saying a word and stared into each other's eyes. There were like 80% dating rate from the study. There were successful marriages. People reported strangers. People reported feeling closer to each other. They felt like they had really made a deep connection just by sitting there and staring into someone's eyes. Not speaking.
For how long?
About 10 minutes.
And how many people that you think that are married stare into each other's eyes?
I think even a certain
Probably
amount,
not that many.
I think a certain amount of brief eye contact over the period of a night will definitely sweeten the pot for you a little bit.
That's so interesting because the more you say that and the more I'm looking into your eyes, the more I realize I want to marry you. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm realizing how infrequently people actually stare into each other's eyes, even when they're having a conversation.
Looking at a lot of people I know are like, I can't look into people's eyes. It's creepy. I'm like, okay, that's special.
No, I just don't think people do it. Even people that are really, really good friends. Like, Russ, have I ever looked into your eyes? I mean, come on, I don't think so. And we've hung out a lot.
Real intimacy thing there.
It's like, why should that be something so strange? I mean, I'm even thinking like with my kids, like, do we stare at? They probably say like, "Ma,
don't look at me."
Stop. Exactly. Only when I think they're up to something. Wait a minute, get over here. And,
moms can always tell.
Exactly, but they don't think so. That's what makes us even smarter.
The other one is I always refer to myself as a heartless romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Like heartless romantic because these flowers aren't going to appreciate themselves. Like you know, you can go through the motions until you create romance.
So, what is the lesson of the day? What should we all go home and do today?
You should find someone that you actually care about and really try to be romantic with them.
Now, is that the one or the backup one?
I could not possibly I could not possibly comment, but there's some of you out there who I know who are watching this who are laughing so hard at me right now. Yes.
So, David.
Miss you.
Some people have inflatable spare tires.
Yeah, but I don't know how their eye magic works.
It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you don't need it.
Yeah, that's different.
Some people, that's all the game they have.
Yeah.
That's true. So tell us about your things that you do.
So lately, I've been spending my time in the world of cabarets.
Okay.
I did a show on March 15th at Don't Tell Mama, which
Yay.
is, I love. Thank you very much, Sydney Meyer and everyone at Don't Tell Mama. Love everybody there. And that is our annual Ides of March extravaganza. And we do this every year. We is my brother and I are a songwriting team, and we write cabaret stuff. And he was.
How long have you been doing it together?
We had our first show in 2008.
Good for you.
So since then, we've written a musical together. We're starting work on a new musical.
What's the name of it?
The musical that we've written is called The Holy Cows of Creedence, South Dakota.
Oh.
We wrote that with a book writer named Mark Eugene Garcia, who I wrote a musical called Facing East with.
You know, I'm sorry. I always interrupt people. I'm so
That's
sorry.
cool.
I used to live in London, and across the street from me was a restaurant called The Holy Cow.
Really?
Yeah.
We have to take the show to London then.
It's not there anymore. I went and visited it. It was Indian food. It was like that was like my favorite
that's
restaurant.
hilarious.
It was so good. So when you said that, it was my because I went back and I went looking for the Holy Cow, and it's not there anymore.
This show is about a very down on its luck church baseball team called the Holy Cows
Wow.
in Creedence, South Dakota.
They have to eat Indian
And
food.
I don't know that anyone in South Dakota, this is me showing my New York snobbery, I don't know that any of these characters from South Dakota have ever had Indian
Well,
food.
we're gonna see what's that. Yeah.
It's Native American food.
Oh, but I don't mean that food. That's like succotash, right?
He knows what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I get it.
But so we wrote that. That happened, it got its New York premiere last year.
So can you sing one of the little songs from it?
What can I
Or
sing?
a chorus?
We
Is there
have
any song that has Holy Cow in it?
It's a beautiful Sunday. I have to see if I remember the lyrics. It's a beautiful Sunday for getting outside and enjoying a good ballpark snack. It's a beautiful Sunday. The sky is so blue that I bet you won't care if you never get back. And now they'll come get a load of the hot dogs, the soda, the holy cows of Creedence, South Dakota.
Wow!
That's the opening number.
Wow! You know, it reminds me of like Guys and Dolls almost.
It's very musical comedy.
Yeah.
We deal with some more serious themes. It's a church baseball team. The pastor's wife is having a bit of an existential crisis, so she's questioning her own faith in God.
Good for her.
And everything kind of rides on the outcome of this one game.
So how many people were in the play?
It's a 6-person cast.
Okay.
Mainly, what you're watching is the people the townspeople who are watching the game, and you get the commentary of what's going on from them while they're going through all of their little crises.
Good
Everyone's
for
got a little
you.
something going on, and it's based on a play by Carolyn Lardinois. I hope, Carolyn, if you're watching, I hope I just said your name right. It's a fun little story, but we address some important issues.
Like what?
There, we address faith and coming to terms with your own faith, and if your faith has to be validated by something outside yourself. Main character's looking for a sign, and does she really need a sign to prove to her that
Does
God
she get it?
exists? She
gets
it, but
Of course she
I'm not
gets
gonna say she doesn't. She gets a sign.
Right.
She doesn't necessarily get the sign that she's looking for.
Isn't that usually how it is? Wow, I want that. That sounds amazing. That
So
sounds.
I'll let you know when something else is happening.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on with it right now because we're doing rewrites.
So where did you start writing? Like what made you guys say I'm gonna do this?
I had written a musical called Facing East, which is based on the play Facing East, which is now being made into a movie called Facing East. So there'll be 3 Facing East that you can see very soon.
And they're all yours?
No. The play is by Carol Lynn Pierce. Apparently, I only adapt plays by women named Carolyn.
Yeah.
But it's by Carol Lynn Pearson. She wrote the play. A producer named Nathan Gardner saw the play. He said this would be a good musical, and then he heard my music. He tapped me to do the music.
Good for you.
He knew Mark. He tapped Mark to do the book and the lyrics. So that's how Mark and I knew each other. And Mark said, "I've got this other show called Holy Cows. Do you want to come and do this?" So my brother and I came on board.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up just outside of New York City, in the suburbs.
All right. And did you guys were you in plays and stuff?
All the time.
Good for
We
you.
did all
What were you? Who were you?
I won an award in high school for playing Hysterium, and a funny thing happened on the way to the farm.
Good for you. Wow. I feel honored sitting next to you.
That was Helen Hayes High School Theater Award, which is no longer called the Helen Hayes Award, but I don't know what it's called now. So
Good for you. I love Helen Hayes because she's airport. She was Helen Hayes. She's the stowaway. Yeah. Helen Hayes was my favorite part of that movie. I loved her.
Well, I got her high school theater award.
Good for you. And what other shows were you in?
Well, I went to theater camp, so I did the Scarlet Pimpernel, I did Candide, I did a little one-act operetta called Cox and Box. You can go ahead and guess which one I was.
The Cock?
I was Cox. Yes. COX.
Wow.
Cox.
Now what about your brother? Did he go to that camp
He went
too?
to the camp too. He was in The Music Man. He was in Damn Yankees, and we did shows in high school. And he is a really fantastic composer.
And you work well together.
Yeah,
That's
we've
a
really
lucky
gotten to
trait.
it. We understand where we come from theatrically speaking.
What'd your parents do?
Well, you'd be surprised. My parents actually were both in the professional theater. Can't get away from
No,
that.
you can't.
matter how
I
hard you
know.
try.
My grandmother was in vaudeville. My mother was an
There you
understudy
go.
on Broadway.
Mhm.
Exactly. I know. It's like
It's
no
in the
matter
blood.
how you try to alleviate, even though they wanted me to be the doctor lawyer, it was like, sorry, it didn't work.
Yeah,
I know.
And I'll play one on TV. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's another joke, but I'm not going there. So, wait, so you do all the fun things, and don't you do more than this?
well, I teach musical theater.
Oh.
That's what I do because I think I've made like a total of like me personally, I think I've made a total of $175 in my life writing musical theater to this point. But so I teach. Yeah,
Preach.
You gotta. But so I teach, and I got my day job, and I do my odd job.
Where do you teach musical theater?
I teach for an organization. I mean, I'm freelance, but mainly I teach for an organization called DaViD.
Ta-da! I was gonna say ta-da.
Mhm.
Of course, that's a great place.
Yep.
And you see all these kids that are so good. There's a lot of
Yeah.
talent. I've seen plays there, and
The shows they put on are fantastic.
and plays just in that building too. It's like incredible.
And I'll do a week-long camp with them, and I'll meet the kids on Monday, and we're putting on a 15 to 20-minute show with 5 songs in it and a brand new script that they wrote on Friday.
how
I just did one of
wonderful.
those, and they're in the theater
What's the
space.
name? It's
I
a
do-
great theater.
It's always, we make up the shows every time.
So does this one have a title?
The one that we just did was called Everything's Coming Up Roses, like
Okay.
the song from Gypsy.
Yes, I love Gypsy.
I did one
I love
called
Gypsy too
Oh
much.
No, the Musical, because they decided to write a show where everything went wrong.
You know, Lainey has
I
that
used to
great
see
song,
Copy
Oh
This.
No. Oh my God, I love
It
that
was
song.
hilarious, and these kids were like making us laugh as we were writing, because every other line someone would run on and say, "Oh no, the mirror broke. Oh no, the music all burned up," and they had all of these.
I have to play you a song. I don't have it with me right now, but my friend Lainey Ford, who used to be the bartender here, she has a song called Oh No. It's like one of the best songs ever.
I need to hear that.
It's so good.
I'm not in touch with any of those kids.
I
but
can
I'll-
send it to you. Oh no! It's so good. You'll love it. But that is really cool. That's so cool. And you guys have known each other for a long time?
Couple of years
Yeah,
now.
a few years.
I remember you won my heart by knowing about Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett.
Who doesn't know about Carol Burnett? I was listening to Once Upon a Mattress on the way down here.
Oh wow! Yeah, some people think it's Sarah Jessica Parker.
I've got that one too, but it's all about Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett, exactly.
She's the funniest.
Yeah, but you know, I know what you mean. Kids today, they
I
don't
don't want to
know
say
a
kids
lot,
today because I've had this conversation so many times.
and they don't know who she is.
No, but I mean, no, I can't
Adults
say
as well.
kids today.
Okay.
I can't because
I can.
I look at these kids
I can.
and I look at these kids and I go,
They don't
"You're
know
wearing-"
who James Taylor is. Do you know how many kids do not know who James Taylor is? That's the question I ask all the time. I always ask James Taylor because I know most of them are gonna say, nope. And I'm just like, you would know the songs. And then you like say, you know, like how sweet it is. I'm like, it's songs you hear in the supermarket that if you hear them, you'll know them.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
It's the same like with Nirvana. Like no one knows who the fuck Kurt Cobain is, but yet they'll sing "Smells Like Teen Spirit" constantly.
I don't know. Kurt Cobain, I think a lot of kids think it's really cool to love Kurt Cobain, and he is a really cool person for them to love. But I think he's more famous now in so many ways. But
Which
I don't know.
still I'm sure pisses Dave Grohl off a lot.
oh, he's working on being the Superman of the world. Dave Grohl. He posts all those things for independent people, and then you try to get in touch with him, it's impossible. I know. I've tried to. You can't. He's untouchable.
Platform right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'd like
Dave
to invite
Grohl.
Dave
Prove
Grohl.
us wrong,
I'd like to
man.
invite Dave Grohl to come and be on the show.
Yeah, that would be great.
Formal Dave.
Yeah, and then you could preach the word for all the indie artists that you do preach to. Yes. I mean, you're a talented guy. So, back to you.
Yeah.
Musical theater.
Musical theater and
So what are
cabaret,
your
that's-
favorite plays? Have you been to Broadway lately?
I've been to
Did you
more
see
like
Kinky Boots
I
yet?
have not seen
Me
Kinky
either.
Boots yet. I feel like I saw Matilda in London. I
okay.
haven't seen it on Broadway yet.
All right.
Celia, I'm gonna come and see it. I have like friends in 5 shows that are opening right now,
Oh
so
my
I have
gosh,
to
good for
save up
you.
my pennies and go see
Yeah.
them.
Good for you.
And Matilda, I have a friend in Matilda, so that's one of them.
I love that
but
movie.
I saw it in London. The musical is so much darker.
Really?
It's a wonderful show.
I've seen
The
commercials.
theatricality and the music, it's a really fun evening.
Wow. I mean, I just love that story. So what's your website and how do people find you?
My website is in flux at the moment, but if you go on Facebook and you look up ReGaNo Songbook, that's my brother and I, RiGaNo.
We can like that page?
Songbook, you can like it.
I'm gonna like
and
that
there's a-
page, ReGaNo
there's-
Songbook. We'll put it on the ReW WhO page too.
We're on Twitter, ReGaNo Songbook, and I'm on Twitter, DaViD ReGaNo, and my brother.
Instagram, you got
Yeah,
one
I'm
of
on
those?
Instagram.
Okay, so we'll
I'm on
somehow-
Pinterest.
We'll
I
find
love-
you.
But all of the Twitter and the Facebook is going to be
Wait.
blowing up with stuff because I have a
All
show
right.
coming up next month.
When?
It's Friday nights in the lusty month of May. It's May 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th at 9:15 at Don't Tell Mama,
Oh,
my favorite
great.
place to perform. And it's called I Ought to Behave and Other Naughty Songs.
Ah, nice, nice.
It's a return engagement. We did this show last summer, 3 performances last summer, and we were incredibly well received. We got a glowing review from the Times Square Chronicle.
Good for you.
And they asked us back for a one night only encore in September.
Good
and
for
now
you.
we've completely revamped it, so there'll be some stuff.
What do you
from last-
wear?
I pretty much wear the. I don't dress naughty, but I talk naughty and I sing naughty.
Ah, can you give
He's
a
got a naughty
line?
smile right now.
Yeah.
We do. What am I allowed to say?
Anything you want.
Anything I want.
Yeah, you can
I've
say
got one. We do a little ditty.
We haven't gotten in trouble yet.
Everybody's fucking but me. We have some old stuff. Our oldest song is from 1931. It's by Harry Roy, and it goes, there's one pet I like to pet, and every evening we get set, I stroke it every chance I get. It's my girl's pussy. 1931.
Love it.
And then everything, and we're gonna do some stuff maybe that you know. We're gonna do some of this really old stuff that you've probably never heard, and then there's gonna be some of our originals
Excellent.
as well.
Well, today happens to be National Mushroom Day, and please help yourself to
Oh,
some mushrooms.
I
But I
love
need
mushrooms.
you to tell me a skeleton from your closet.
I think you have to come to the show to see those.
Ah, can you just share one? Well, you kind of just said.
I've been trying to think of one since I saw in the last segment that was going to be on the I'm trying to think of like a nice.
What about a
juicy
theater camp? Did you ever like get caught in the wrong?
What happens at French Woods stays at French Woods. I definitely. Well, here's just a little bit of naughty because I like the naughty, and our show ranges from the kind of tee-hee naughty to the completely vulgar, like
The golf clap
So
naughty?
this is more on the tee-hee side, but I would ad lib on stage. I would make things up. I would see if I could crack people. Once I did it to my brother, but while he was off stage, I made a comment about him in a scene. And then he came on later and he retaliated, and I think between our ad-libs that night the show was maybe 5 minutes longer than it usually was, because we were kind of going back and forth at each other, just seeing if we could jab each other with these
Who
little
won?
ad-libs. Oh, the audience.
Ah.
Can I tell the David story?
Yeah.
How David got fame. How David got fame. David.
My first 15 minutes
Yeah.
was it was starting to get a little chilly out, and I wanted to write a kind of holiday song, so I just started scribbling down some lyrics. When the daylight gets when the daylight gets longer, and then when the daylight gets shorter and the night gets longer, the year comes to a close and we're all a little older. People start to celebrate in many different ways as I prepare for the first of my favorite holidays. And then I was like, well, so that's the little introduction. What am I going to say next? What's going to be the meat of the song? And so then I wrote, I want to be Daphne for Halloween. I want to be sexy and smart, because there had been an article that had come out that a woman wrote that her 4-year-old son wanted to dress as Daphne from Scooby-Doo for Halloween. And it was a whole big deal about him going to school
Right.
and the kids accepting him, but the mothers, the other moms not doing it. And that was on the Nerdy Apple blog. And so I wrote this song, and we went to an open mic at Birdland and performed it, and I sent it to the mother, and my fingers were crossed, and I think like for a whole weekend I was just
Right.
sweating, like, what if she hates it?
Right.
What if she's gonna send me an email that says, how dare you?
Right.
And she sent me an email back. She said, I love it. Can I post it on the blog? And it got posted, and it got tweeted and retweeted. So that was
that's
my first
wonderful.
little viral thing.
Good
And
for
it's
you.
you can find it on YouTube. It's under the ReGaNo Songbook YouTube page. It's called I Want to Be Daphne for
Good for
Halloween.
you.
And someone sang it on a cruise recently.
Wow, you get royalties for that?
Not yet.
Better check it out.
I gave him permission. He had said, can I, he had heard me sing it. He
But
said,
even
"Can I
so,
sing
are you
it?"
with ASCAP or BMI?
I'm trying to, which one's better? You tell me.
Everyone has their personal preference.
Uh-huh.
I'm BMI, but I know lots of
Okay.
people at ASCAP.
That's what I'm trying
But
to
you
figure out right now. I'm
can
doing the research.
call them and pick your choice,
Mhm.
and you probably can get something out of
Yeah.
that. Trust me.
So, hopefully.
Any way we can, baby. Give it up. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
coming. Come back again.
Oh, I definitely will.
All right,
Please
we
don't
got
tell
more.
Mom
We
that
got
I'm
more.
nice.
David Logano.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Hey.
Happens again. I got skeletons in my closet.